Hi everyone, it's me, Darlene. I have been neglecting this channel for a little bit, and it's only because I don't have a whole lot of time, but more than that, it's that I have so many things that I want to say that when it's time to record, I feel like I can't chop it down enough because I'm so passionate, especially about the narcissistic stuff, but other stuff too, and I really need to find my groove with this channel. And I was determined to record something today, and I decided I am going to share with you some of the people that I watch, because I watch a lot, and these are some of my favorites. Let's start with, and I'm going to have the links to all of these, either TikToks or there's only like one, maybe two that I really like on YouTube. I watch a lot, but I'll mention at least the one, Dr. Ramani, I think her name is. I'll put a link to her. I don't know if she actually has firsthand experience with narcissists. She probably does because she's a doctor. So, I mean, I don't know, like, if in her own personal life, like if she had a narcissistic parent or sibling or spouse, or I don't know. But she knows a lot about it, and I believe she records every single day. Now, her videos can be a little bit on the long side, but I watch her because I'm learning so much from her. So I will have the link to that one. And that's the only YouTube one I will recommend at this point. There are some awesome people on TikTok, and what's cool about TikTok is they're just little short things, no more than 3 minutes. And, you know, you can tell if it's not a topic that you're interested in. You can just scroll and get to the next one. So when you go on TikTok, if you find somebody you like, you just click on their profile, and then you'll see all their videos, and you can just tap on one and watch it, and then you can scroll, and it'll just scroll through their little videos. Abuse is abuse. I don't know if she has her actual name in her profile, but that's the name of her channel. Again, I will link to that. She says things that just hit home, and one of the things that she talked about, which is actually the name of her channel, is abuse is abuse. People will say different things according to who you are being abused by. Say it's a couple dating. I don't care if it's man, woman, woman, woman. One is abusing the other. And let's say the abuse is not physical. Let's say it's emotional abuse. And, you know, you say, Joe lies to me and is like really mean to me and hurts me and then makes me feel like I'm making things up. And right away, people around that person are going to say, leave. You deserve better than that. Why stay with that? Find somebody else. Just get out of that, and it could turn dangerous. But if somebody says, my mother is mean to me, and she lies to me, and boy, oh boy, people start saying, yeah, but that's your mom, and she's doing the best she can, and, you know, just forgive her. You know, that's your relative, you know, just be nice. And then others will say, you know, how dare you put down your mom or throw your mom under the bus. And even a hospice nurse told me, you've only got one mother to love, or something like that. I know I said it in another video, and I blew up at her. I was like, don't you tell me who I am to love. It's those responses that help the one being abused to feel like, I just have to accept this abuse. I'm making too much out of it. Because if people just want to soften the blow, it makes you think that that's normal and there's something wrong with me because I feel bad when these things happen to me. You know, and it doesn't have to be from your mother. It can be, you know, your father or a sibling. But if you talk about somebody like that outside of the family, it's a friend, just a friend, and my friend makes me feel bad. Leave that friend. People are so quick to say, get away from something that's toxic, unless it's your family member. Some will say get away, some who have suffered the same kind of abuse, but people who don't understand it, they understand that your boyfriend or girlfriend or your co-worker shouldn't make you feel bad, and you need to get away from that. But it's okay if your mother does, and you need to just get over that real quick. Be kind. Be kind to your mother. She loves you. She's doing the best she can. That especially happens when you're a child. Now, in my day, people, really didn't talk about much of anything. I was born in 1960. So, like, let's say 1965. My grandmother, my mother's mother, lived across the street from us for my entire life. So, until she died. I mean, she was already in that house when I was born. And I used to run to her to be saved from being beaten or, usually it was that. I just didn't want to get hit. And she would tell me that I had to be good. You have to be good. That's all there is to it. And I knew that just being good wasn't the solution. I knew that young that there was more to it. I knew that there was something wrong. I was always so hurt, so crushed, because I loved my mother so much, because she used to put me on a pedestal, but then she would always knock me off it. But I loved the person that she could be when she was that wonderful person. So it seemed like it hurt me that much more when I would be abused and had no clue why. Just no clue. And she would say awful things. The awful things she said to me, even as a very small child, the emotional abuse was always the worst for me. Always. Getting smacked with a belt a few times and having it hurt a lot, that was like done and over with, and I could forget that easier than I could forget her telling me that she always told me I was going to be fat one day as a very small child, and I had no weight problem. And I think that that's why I'm fat today, because I was always told, you are going to grow up fat like your aunts. I don't even know fat aunts. I didn't have fat aunts. But that's what she always said. You're going to be just like your aunts and you're going to be fat. So I felt like there was no hope for me, that I was just going to be fat, because my mother said so. My mother, this person who knew everything, because I almost felt like she had magical powers. I mean, it was just crazy. That kind of stuff stayed with me because I was so worried about it. And, by the time I was 12, I had eating disorders when I didn't have any kind of a weight problem, because I was like, I've got to stop this before it happens to me. And I had eating disorder issues up until, oh, geez, I'm supposed to remember the date, something like 2011, I do believe. It was my whole life, and it's just, so I'm supposed to be talking about these people that I want you to see, and not so much about me right now. But I just thought I'd share all that with you. Another one is, especially if you're a man, and maybe you'd like to hear a man or a woman who would like to hear a man talk about narcissism, his channel is Narcissistic Abuse Anonymous. He covers so many things. And one thing that he pointed out is that people get confused. Attention is not love. And again, when you're a child, if you get a lot of attention from a parent especially, or some siblings, you take that as a connection. But that attention doesn't mean that person is showing you love or that they even love you, because a narcissist is not capable of that. And that's why when people say, she loves you, your mother loves you, she might not know how to show it. It's possible that people just don't love. I don't know why that's so hard for people to understand. Not everyone is capable of that, and it really dismisses the person if somebody opens up and says, I'm not comfortable with this, she makes me feel like shit, but she loves you. No, don't say that. You know what you can say? You can say, I believe you. That's not saying that you think the mother loves or not. You can always just tell somebody, I believe you. If you don't believe them, you can say, I hear you. Just listen to a person when they are opening up and don't try to stifle them, So attention doesn't mean love, but boy, it can feel like that. I think at the beginning of relationships, it's a lot of, the attention that we're attracted to, and then it grows, and then you find out if it's a good fit or not, Think about that. Attention does not mean love, period. So I'm going to link to him. Now, my newest favorite is, I don't want to mispronounce her name, but I'm sure I'm going to. Marnie Grundman. That's probably how it's pronounced. She absolutely has a narcissistic mother, and I believe she is still currently no contact. Her mother threw her out of a window when she was 5. A 2-story, second floor, and she fell. She broke both her arms. And here's one thing that I connected with that. When there were incidences that I would get hurt or be very, very crushed by something, others in my family would act like I deserved it or made light of it, like it was almost funny. And she says that in one of her TikToks, I wish I could point out the ones that meant so much to me so you could watch them, because she explains things perfectly. But TikTok is hard to follow. It's not like YouTube. There's no descriptions under the thumbnails and stuff like that. But her thing was that the family always kind of joked about that. Now, I can't remember exactly what she said, but, let's, think of things like, oh yeah, the kid who can fly out a window, or, they made light of it. And that mother threw her out a window on the 2nd story. Now, I don't know how old she is. I don't think she's as old as me. But, today, if a mother threw her child out a window at age 5 or any age, I would hope that somebody would call for help with that. But she broke both her arms. So you can see people weren't as quick in those days to help children. I hope that has changed. And it's the same with me. Even when I talk about the Thanksgiving, and I have a lot of holiday stories, but the Thanksgiving where something happened, I don't know exactly, but I was an adult, and I spent like 3 hours in the car, cold, crying, drinking. I do believe I went into the bathroom, that back door. I could open that back door and go right into the bathroom. I don't think I was peeing outside, and I know if I was drinking for 3 hours, I needed to pee. But then when I went back in the house, nobody even asked me where I was, what I was doing. Everybody just would assume that whatever took place, and I'm sure it had to be a fight, and I'm sure I must have been, just going crazy, because I was the one that always put the whole thing together. The stress was on me. Did all the cooking and the planning and the seating and the making sure everybody has got what they want. And I just felt like that was always my job. And then if my mother started to tear that apart for me, we would argue, yell, and have, full-on, not fights, like fist fights, but, it was nothing for us to argue. And people didn't really chime in. They just always saw it like, oh, yeah, well, here's the show for this one, And nobody ever took my side. Nobody. Children of a narcissist play different roles, and it's very common for, like, say it's the mother, that she will put different roles on each child, and that she will teach each child to believe that they're the golden child, and you just know that all your other ones, they're nuts. There's something wrong with them. So that way that person would be like, oh, phew, thank goodness, I'm the one that's okay. It's all of them that are crazy. And you're so happy and relieved to know that that mother of yours didn't put you in the crazy group. You know, you had a big sigh of relief, and then whoever acted up, it's just because they weren't right. They weren't well. They were, as my mother always called me, a sick girl. She would call me a sick girl, but then on the other hand, would make me in private feel like I was the best thing ever, the smartest, never the prettiest. She never gave me that label. The smartest, the funniest, you know, things like that. But then she would say, you're the smartest person I know. It's too bad you can't get just A's.
We are the ones left
behind. Trying to not let her talk. You know what I mean? So I knew, to me, I thought, I'm brilliant. She actually told me once that I had been tested and I was a genius. That never happened, but I believed it did when I was young. And I used to tell other kids that because I believed my mother. I believed that I was a genius. I didn't even really know what a genius meant. But she put that label on me so she could say, look at how smart you are. You're a genius, yet you do the stupidest things. So she wanted to make sure that the fall off the pedestal was a really bad one. You know, it couldn't be like, you know, gee, you got a C minus, so close to a C. You know, that's just a little push, you know. But no, I had to have big pushes. You are brilliant, yet you're so fucked up and stupid, and you don't do anything right. That puts a lot of pressure on a kid. So I'm so into these TikTokers. I will link to them. I know I'm like kind of all over the place. If you're interested at all in, hang on, I don't have time on my card. Okay, I was interrupted. What I was saying is, if you need validation, say you're just new into this, you don't really understand everything about narcissists, go watch some of these people. They're going to help you a great deal. If you think you know a narcissist and you just want to learn more about it, go watch these people. If you know nothing about it and you just are curious, go watch these people. If you've ever said to anyone, she just doesn't know how to show you she loves you, or he doesn't know how to show you, you need to go watch this stuff because you're part of the problem. Plain and simple. All right, you guys, I'm going to sign off now. Thank you so much for watching. I'll be back with more soon. Bye. Oh yeah, all the links in the description.